Here's a 3-minute recap of week 3 of our series on Joel. Joel is preparing us for a coming day of the Lord, and one sign that day is coming is people will be lovers of themselves rather than lovers of God. Being a lover of yourself is a form of idolatry, which is simply allowing anyone or anything to take the place of God in our lives. And God gave us the first of 10 commandments to help us resist that temptation. He said, I am the Lord your God. You shall have no other gods before me. Well, evidently the people of Israel are struggling to keep that commandment. But Joel reminds them it is not too late. If they will rend their hearts in return, then God promises, then you will know that I am in Israel, that I am the Lord your God, and that there is no other. I've discovered 3 things help me from becoming a lover of myself. First, serving others. Secondly, spending time alone with God every day. And then finally, setting priorities about how I spend my time and my money, and then keeping them. And it takes humility, which isn't thinking less of myself, but thinking of myself less. Joel says that when we do this, that there is a blessing. That first of all, we experience that God will meet our physical needs. We discovered that you cannot outgive God. And when we put him first, he always provides for us. Secondly, God will be our source of security. Ultimately, our security is not in our bank accounts or how carefully we plan for the future. Our security is in God, and he promises to fight our enemies for us. And then finally, God says, I will restore what you have lost. In verse 25, God says, I'll repay you for what the locusts have devoured. You see, the good news is God so loved you that he gave his only son. And his son gave his life so that you might know life that is truly life. And the turning point in our lives is when we stop loving ourselves and seeking after other gods, and we start worshiping the God who is. And it's a response to the invitation that's at the heart of Joel's message. Rend your hearts, not your garments. Return to the Lord your God, for he is gracious and compassionate, slow to anger, and abounding in love. Next Sunday, we're going to wrap up the series in a valley of decision. And I hope you'll join us then. Until then, I pray your week is filled with God's abounding love.